Somewhere up there, I can hear the Typhoon display jet from Coningsby down the road. I've flown in one of those. It's above them clouds somewhere, I reckon. It's another bird's berserk there, right? Come on. Sounds like it's above us somewhere. Anyway, what a week this has been. So stressful. When I say stressful, I mean it's just been both physically and mentally tough this week. I'm going to bring you a bit closer so we can have a chat. That's better. Now don't worry, before you think it's going to be like one of those deep emotional blogs where I outpour my emotions to you and we get all sort of touchy-feely with each other, it's not going to be one of those vlogs. But I just wanted to point out the fact that I have had a bit of a rough week. Things personally in my life that have not gone particularly well. Put me on a bit of a downer this week. Last night I was washing a plate and I dropped the plate and it smashed and it put a big hole in my wrist. I was cutting myself at work on different bits and pieces. I was doing my porridge this morning and that overflowed in the microwave and went everywhere. So it's just been a bit of a clumsy and topsy-turvy week. However, in other news, I got this today. Let's see what it is. Well, I know what it is, but let me show you what it is. Okay, so there you go. Thank you for joining the 4Ocean movement. If anyone doesn't know what 4Ocean is a charity that collects plastic and waste off beaches around the world. And then you can get these little wristbands, which is going to be in one of these, this cute little bag here, look at that, check that out. And you can buy these wristbands and that goes towards the cause of clearing up the plastic from the beaches. So it says here, our cleanup efforts are beach cleanups, they do offshore cleanups, so they get boats and go out with trawlers and clean plastic directly out the ocean. Follow them on Instagram or Facebook, it's called 4Ocean. I'm not being paid to promote this or anything like that, I just think the cause is pretty cool, so 4Ocean. And I also got this pretty neat window sticker. I mean, I've not really got a window to stick it in, but it's a window sticker nonetheless. And like I say, the little wristbands in this bag, so let's open this bag up. So I got a blue, they do different types of ones for like different animals. There's like a sea turtle one, there's a whale one, there's a manta ray one, there's like a wildlife tree one and stuff, but this is just the standard blue ocean one. It does adjust, because that won't go over my wrist. I mean, it barely goes over 3 fingers. So yeah, so it's like little plastic beads all around the edge, and you got the little 4Ocean tag there. You can see it in between the 2 bits of string, and then hopefully this just teases apart like that, and then I should be able to, there we go, and then using my teeth the good old fashioned way. Cool. There we go. So I'm not going to wear that all. I'm not going to wear it to work or anything like that because I don't want to damage it. But pretty cool. At least I've got something in the post there. Oh, I also got this in the post. I'm going to show you this in another video because I'm going to go through all the kit I'm taking. But it's a little head torch which I ordered off Amazon. But I just thought, you know, it's going to be a good head torch when it's a super bright one. Thanks, China. But yeah, if you want one of these wristbands, follow 4Ocean on Facebook or follow 4Ocean on Instagram. But with having such a tough week, going back to that, it got me thinking in my mind. And there are some points where I think about the Australia trip and it does scare me a little bit, because obviously it's a big step to take. There's a lot of things I've had to sacrifice and to do to be able to do this trip, a lot of things I've had to sell, a lot of things I'm giving up, and I have a lot of worries. So I just wanted to kind of go over to what some of my worries are with you, so that, you know, maybe you're thinking about travelling and you're thinking, I've got some worries, and maybe they cross over with what my worries are, and it might open a dialogue, and you might not feel so worried if you think you're not the only person worrying about those things. if that makes sense. Here are just some of the things that I'm personally worried about when I go. One of the first things I'm worried about is staying in a hostel. Okay, now I was in the Royal Air Force for 5 years. I'm used to staying in like 16-man rooms. I'm used to sharing a room. That's not the problem. Sharing a room, I've got no issue with. I'll do that all day long. It's more the sort of making friends and doing that sort of thing. So really, maybe I'm not worried about the hostel. Maybe I'm worried about making friends. And I'm a fairly sociable guy. I'm happy to go out. I like going out and drinking, and I like going out and exploring and doing different things. But the past few years, because of instances that have happened again in my personal life, which I'm not going to go into because it's not that type of vlog, my confidence has been damaged somewhat. But I mean, I just started this job in this bar here, and I've been there, what, a little over a month. I probably worked 4 weeks in total, and I'm already making friends and having conversations with people, and you know, I'm having a good time, and I'm hanging out with people here, and you know, I'm happy to go out and eat on nights out with people, so that's pretty good. And like, it won't take as long, I don't think, when I'm out there, because you're thrown into a situation where you sort of sink or swim. You have to get on with people. But I am a little bit worried. I mean, what if I get out there and nobody likes me, or I just don't find anyone that I click with? Like I said before, I have got friends out there already, but they've got their own adventures that they're doing. They've got their own friends already, their own friendship group, so I don't want to sort of tread on their toes and sort of interrupt what they're doing and get in their way. The other issue with making friends is I'm 30 years old, so I'm at the top end of the backpacking age bracket, and the majority of people who are out backpacking are younger. Now I tend to get on with younger people anyway because I'm pretty mature, I suppose, I don't know. I've always tended to get on with people who are younger than me rather than people who are the same age or are older than me. So yeah, we'll just see. But that is one of the things in my mind that I go, oh my god, I'm worried about that. And then the other thing is like finding a job, getting work. There is plentiful work out there for backpackers. There is lots of work. I mean, I'm part of a Facebook group that sort of looks at jobs, and I'm in a sort of, you could think, beneficial position because I am at the top of the age bracket for backpackers. I don't have to look to get my 88 days to do farm work to get a second year or a third year or whatever. I can go and do farm work if I want, but I don't have to go and do 88 days worth. So if I'm short on work, I can just go, you know what, I'm going to go get a job at a farm for a bit. But then I've got other skills, so I can do bar work. I've worked in retail, I'm a photographer, so I'm going to start putting the feelers out roughly about now to sort of see what jobs are. So we're about a month, we're just over a month out from when I fly, so a month and 7 days until I fly. So if I start putting the feelers out now, then hopefully by the time I get there, we'll be golden. The other thing is as well, when you're in Australia, it's not like in the UK where you can just hand your CV in and you get given a job. You have to have licenses to do certain things. So to work in a bar, for example, you have to have something called an RSA. To work in like the labour industry, you have to have something like a white card. So it's not as easy as just going over there with a CV and going, that's my CV, hire me. That's obviously one of my main worries as well, because without a job, I've got no income, and I've potentially got to come home, which I don't want to do. Which kind of brings me on to the third worry. And the third worry I have is failure. And that's just a worry I have generally throughout life anyway. But failure is a big one for me, because previous to working here, I'd worked 2 jobs in which I'd been sacked from, if you like. I just didn't make it past the probation period. And I've had failed relationships and things like that in recent years. So since leaving the Air Force, nothing's really run terribly smoothly until I got to the job I'm at now, and everything seems to be going okay. And then things recently have surfaced again with failure and stuff like that. So I've always had in the back of my mind that failure is something that happens too frequently to me, and this is one thing that I just cannot have happen. I can't have this fail. I've got too much skin in the game. I've put too much into it. I've said too much now. I really want this to work, and it's something that I've wanted to do deep down my whole life. And if I went out there for like 2 months and then had to come home because I didn't have any money, or I had to come home for any reason, then that would be hard to take. That would be really hard to take. To think that I had that opportunity and I was there and I had it grasped, and then for some reason or somehow I blew it, that would really suck. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Another big worry for me is obviously Max, which might not be a worry for majority of people who are going travelling, because the majority will be either single and won't have kids. He's in a really good home. His mum's great. He's got a great sister. Got a great family network around him. But obviously I'm going away. So, and he's at an age now where he's 4, becoming 5 in November. He'll be going to school, so I'll miss his first day of school, which is going to suck. And then obviously there'll be the distance. I'll be talking to him over FaceTime. When I went to Australia in November and talked to him over FaceTime, he wasn't massively interested. He sort of got very distracted very quickly, and we didn't talk that long. But hopefully that will change over time. His attention span will grow a little bit, and we'll be able to have proper conversations about it. But I just hope that this distance doesn't fracture our relationship in a detrimental way, that it's unreversible. And I don't want him to ever think that I've abandoned him, because that's just simply not the case. Yeah, I'm over the other side of the world, but the way I see it is, if I was still in the military, that would still happen, you know, for 6, 7, 8 months at a time, potentially. So it's just a different way of looking at it and a different way of doing it. And the last one really, and probably the one that sort of rears its head in most ways, like it really hit me the other day and scared me a little bit, but it's a really random one. And that's just the fear of just not enjoying it and just going out there and absolutely hating what I'm doing. Like I said, I've been to Australia before. I went to Australia in November and absolutely fell in love with Sydney and Byron Bay and places. But obviously it's very different going there on a visit, on a holiday, to doing it full time and working out there. And the way I think about it is, when I did the 4 months in Lithuania, there were a lot of people who hated it out there, didn't make the most of it, just sat in a hotel room the whole time, were happy just watching TV and then getting pissed in the bar downstairs, and then that was their life. Whereas I was more like, okay, I'm here, I've got 4 months here, let's make the most of it. I'm going to go and see this place, I'm going to go see that place. Yeah, I'm still going to go get drunk and do these different things and party and stuff, but I still, while I'm out here, want to make sure I make the most of it. But hopefully I've still got that intrepid spirit in me, and I still want to throw myself into it. I mean, I still think I do that. When I went to November, I wanted to go and see so much stuff, and although I've not got a solid plan in place as to what it is I'm going to do, I do have like a little bucket list that I'm going to try and tick off, which I'll go over in another video, the places that I want to visit while I'm out in Australia. They're just some of the worries though that I've got before going out and travelling. I mean, they're not massive worries, they're nothing crazy, but they are things that play on your mind before you go anywhere and do anything quite this big. Yeah, I know things will probably go wrong and they'll have issues, whether it be missing my son or whether it will be finding a job, whatever, and there will be those hiccups and those obstacles to overcome, but that's all part of the adventure, isn't it? If you plan too much, there's nothing that can surprise you, and surprises are often the best part of any adventure. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Yeah, I've got some worries in the back of my head, but the overriding emotion I have is just pure excitement, and I just can't wait to get out there. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Ugh.